Is this thing on? I haven't made videos in so long. What am I doing? Hello, I'm back. You're back. We're back. It's 2023, January, and we are going to have hopefully a very exciting year here in the garden. If you're new to the channel, well, first, thank you for all my subscribers who stuck around. Some of you left, some of you stayed, and I think I got one or two new ones. So welcome to all the new subscribers. If you're new to the channel, let me give you a quick rundown. My name is Jason. I'm building a garden here in growing zone 8A, Eastern North Carolina, on 1.5 acres. We're standing in front of the greenhouse right now in my veg garden, and which is about 40 by 80. I have a flower garden. I have garden beds around the house. I have an orchard. I have a rose garden, and so much more. So if you haven't subscribed or click that bell icon to be notified of when I do post up a new video, please do so now. This way you can follow along as the garden grows and expands throughout the year. So 2023, what is happening? What's going to happen? As you can tell, I'm somewhat excited because, again, it's January, and that just means spring is around the corner. Again, I'm in Eastern North Carolina. My last frost date here in growing zone 8A should be around April 1st. We'll see. That being said, I can start seeds, as many of you can, across the country, indoors, which I'll be doing towards the end of the month or early February. I have yet to decide. I have to go through my seeds, see what I have. I can start seeds in the greenhouse, which I'm already doing, which is pretty exciting, and I'll give you guys a rundown on that in a follow-up video, because that's a whole nother thing of what's going on in the greenhouse. Yeah, real exciting stuff. I'm making big changes to the veg garden this year. Let me show you what some of those changes are, and then we'll talk about some of the other things that's going to be happening around the garden this year. So if you've been following along for a while, you'll know that I've been purchasing some of these Birdie's beds, and I've gotten some as birthday gifts. And I started getting these not because they're stylish or fashionable, which I kind of get the feeling that they're getting right now. And again, I'm not doing that for that reason. I'm doing that for the simple reason of I'm 50, and in 10 years I'll be 60, and in 20 years I'll be 70 if I'm still alive. Bending over and getting down your hands and knees is not something that I would like to be doing at that age. So again, I got these metal raised beds because the metal will hold up to the heat and humidity down here in Eastern North Carolina, and I won't have to bend over as much. So again, it brings the vegetables more up to that height. Also, because again, I'm in Eastern North Carolina, not too far from the coast, we do get hit with hurricanes occasionally, and the property does flood. The last one, I believe, was Hurricane Florence. From my understanding and talking to people, residents who were here at the time, I was not here, but the property got about 2 foot of water, and then it receded. So 18 inches, 2 foot of water, and then it came in, came out, went out real quick. But still, the property was inundated. So if I had your traditional 8 to 12 inch raised bed, they would have been underwater. And again, these beds are 30 inches high, so hopefully that won't be an issue. And I won't also have to worry about the floodwaters damaging the beds in any such a way. But again, these were here last year. So again, if you've been following the channel, you've seen all that. Let me show you what's new this year. This year, I'm redoing all of these beds. For the simple reason is, I got 3 more beds, Birdie beds, for Christmas, which is really exciting. Which was not the part of the plan, but plans change, and now I have these beds. So the 2 beds you see up front here, these were existing beds. This one didn't move, it stayed. This one moved from back there. I did a little short talking about shuffling around the beds, but it moved. So these 2 beds are in place and ready to go for the springtime. This bed will be disappearing soon. This bed's already gone. This bed's already gone. This bed's already gone. They're just waiting for the Birdie's beds to be built, because I have 4 in the garage that need to be built, put into place, filled, and ready to go for the spring, which, cross my fingers, I will get done in time. Again, if you've been following along the channel, you know that, again, last fall, I turned around and I redid the in-ground veg area. And basically, I now have it lined with these stones, these pavers, and that's just simply to make mowing and trimming easier and hopefully try to keep the weeds out of here. This whole area right now is under black weed fabric, so it's killing everything underneath. I will then come back in the early spring, late winter, and start covering this with cardboard and then compost and then plant into that. And this whole area will be used for planting up corn, melons. I'm going to put some daylilies in here, things that the deer like to eat. Apparently they like to eat milkweed too, so I'm probably going to put a milkweed bush or two in here. When we get to planting all this up, again, hit that subscribe button, follow along, you'll see how this all evolves. And this is the rose garden. I started this a couple of years ago when I first when I moved down here and I started setting up the garden. Currently it looks like a mess, and it is a mess. It needs to be weeded, and I have new plants to plant into the area and remulch this whole area. At the very bottom of your screen, you may notice a little strip of black. That's, again, black weed fabric. I'm going to be expanding the rose garden this year as well. Let me show you that. So this area right here, again, under the black weed fabric, most of this weeds and grass and stuff should be dead. Obviously it needs to be cleaned up. But hopefully this year I can turn around and fill this in with some nice beautiful compost and plant into here. I have a climbing rose which I've had in a grow bag for a year, and it really needs to go into the ground. And that's going to be one of my projects. Now I was going to turn around and put it on an arbor, which would go over the entrance to the rose garden, but that arbor is currently out of budget for the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that I saw in Gardener's World. It's a British gardening TV show, in case you didn't know. I'm going to take and make my own sort of obelisk out of some rebar and some existing wire that I have, and then I'm going to plant the climbing rose into that and let it grow up that, and I'm going to try to make that like a 10-foot tall obelisk. Actually, it'll be about 8 foot tall once I put everything into the ground. Again, follow along, you'll see how that happens. And out here in the orchard, I have a fig tree or shrub. I have peach trees, apple trees, and I'll be planting out pawpaw trees in the upcoming weeks. Follow along and see what happens. Again, I'm going to be planting out the pawpaw trees. I don't know if I'll get any fruit this year because they're still pretty small, but let's see if I can correctly plant them, and I'll cover all of that in a separate video. The dahlia bed, part of the flower garden here. If you again haven't followed along, I left my dahlias in the ground. So hopefully this spring, or early summer I should say, probably, once the ground warms up enough, the dahlias will all come up. I don't know if they'll all come up. I don't know if some of them will come up. I don't know if only a handful will come up, but we will find out. Right here in front of the veg garden, obviously I have a gate, but I have these, really can't tell right now because they're a bit of a mess, but I have two little beds. And last year I planted Mexican sunflower into both beds. This side did very well. This side didn't do so great. So what I'm going to do again this year is I'm going to try to replant them both with Mexican sunflower, and hopefully, cross my fingers and toes, I can get both sides to come up at relatively the same time, and it will look absolutely spectacular. And maybe my chocolate vine will actually turn around and flower this year. Right here is a corner of the flower garden, and when I first started this a couple of years ago, it was just literally this corner over here, and I have thus expanded, and I also expanded down this way, and I have all sorts of things in here. Yarrows, gladiolus, there's penstemon, there's alliums, there's pineapple lilies, there's so much more. And of course, I turned around and pushed it all the way out towards the street this last fall. And I've moved lilies from the front of the house to here. And I've put ranunculus into the ground, and more alliums, and more bulbs. And let me show you what's coming up this year. This year, hopefully this spring, I plan on planting all this up with a variety of plants, from echinaceas to cardinal flowers to salvias and etc., etc. I've bought a lot of seeds, so hopefully this all gets filled in this year with some incredible and beautiful flowers. And shortly, I will be expanding this bed deeper along the driveway here. And again, there's a variety of shade-loving flowers and plants that are in here. I have to go through here, I have to do some weeding out, and I'm going to be expanding that so I can do some more planting into this area come the springtime. And there's so much more. There are many other projects which I didn't even name or list, and there's things that I want to do this year, like challenge new gardeners, but that's all in upcoming videos. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click that bell icon to be notified when I do post a new video. Please go check out the community tab on the, so if you're on your computer, I don't even know if you can find it on the mobile devices, but if you can find it on the mobile devices, great, because I'm going to be trying to post up there more often under, again, the community tab on the home on the YouTube homepage there. If you didn't know, I have a website, growingagrainfinger.com. I've been trying to post things there on the little blog thing, but you can also find social media links. You could find a store where you can buy merch like this sweatshirt, and again, you can contact me if you want through email. It's 2023. It's another gardening year. The garden's going to get bigger, better, and more exciting this year. If you haven't started gardening, this is the year to start gardening, and for a whole lot of reasons, which I will talk about in subsequent videos. But we're back. It's 2023, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.